Hey, all right, we got a stream going on here, folks. I'm just going to do this for my own records, and that's it. So, I wanted to share my experience back with Trillium. I'm going to get this one for the channel, and this is from a series I've had the base beers. This is Dial Up the Seven Digits. Now, I love the artwork, the old fashioned Nokia phone. Calling Monkish. This is a collab with Monkish. They do a ton of collabs together. Trillium and Monkish. They have plenty of collaboration beers. The two breweries really get along, and Monkish is a great brewery as well. So they've come together and done this. And this beer, guys, it's 3 weeks old, so it's nice fresh beer. I love these collab beers. Sometimes they can add a little bit more than the base brewery normally produces. But dialed in. The Dial series is from Trillium. Monkish may have helped. They might say on the website how they helped them, but let's crack it open. Why am I even talking still? So let's. I'm not going to take too long on this one. Awesome nose. I smell the Chardonnay. This is made with Chardonnay juice, guys. So the white Chardonnay profile. See how the acidity comes into this one? The Dialed series, historically, is more acidic because you're featuring wine grapes. Not a ton of carbonation coming out. The Trillium double IPAs, guys, they have not been really well carbonated as of late, and I've kind of lost some favor with them because of that. I mean, look, we're not even at the head will dissipate immediately. So we're getting one of these flatter zero head Trillium beers, but the look, otherwise, it is literally a juice bomb, opaque orange. I mean, look at that color. It's absolutely, the color is perfect. I'm going to be interested to see if this really is going into the wine category. Like you're getting the Chardonnay, the white grape, maybe even some oak characteristics. I'd be very interested to see if we can even get that. It's made with the juice, but not the Chardonnay juice. I don't know if that juice is aged in oak or other barrels potentially, like it comes out as the wine. I think it's actually just the grapes that they use. But let's take a look here. You get some of that dank. You definitely get white grape, and you get a slight acidity from that grape bleeding in. But I get a lot of grapefruit as well, some orange, some weed, some dankness, absolutely. And then the white Chardonnay grape is in there too. So the dank profile it's a dank grapiness. It smells like the grapes are like rotting up a little bit. They're starting to rotten. They're over ripened. They're starting to become like sour. It's absolutely like that is exactly like sour. The grapes are starting to turn sour. Yes. It has that acidity that I was expecting for the Dial series. And this beer is not for everybody. Now, even though the head is basically gone, the color is fantastic. I am a definite fan of this line. Let's see how the amped up this collab beer does. Let's take a taste of this. Very pleasant. Very nice. Big white grape juice in here. Big. Like you poured Welch's. The acidity is there. There's a slight, the carbonic profile that Trillium has really been featuring in a lot of their IPA. You can taste it a little bit. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a little bit like tonic water, if I could say. Like you get a little bit of the tonic, bubbly tonic essence in here. But the grape juice is insanely upfront. The carbonation is okay. It's I'd say the body's a little thin from what I'm anticipating. It's the hops are great. The hops are very, very good. They're still there. I'm getting grapefruit pith. I'm getting orange peel, mango pith. Again, you're looking at a slightly acidic forward beer. It's more acid, astringency. It's that tartness. There's a tartness to this IPA. I think this type of IPA will definitely be enjoyed by sour beer fans more than maybe some others in the category because of that acidic sour note. I mean, you might even call lemongrass or lemon peel because of the acidity, but it's turning into a white grape pithiness. You're getting the white grape skin, that little white grape oil, the acidity. It's definitely in there. It's lively and bright and very Chardonnay forward. I do like how the mango grapefruit kind of underbelly is there. You get it. It's like a little bit of wine and grapefruit juice mixed together. There's definitely some of that going on. I'm just going to go on record. The taste is great overall. Yeah, the carbonic thing is there. The tonic water, little bit of that, but it's not off-putting because you're getting all that acidity, the grape acidity. There is some real like lingering pininess in here. Not bitter, but piney. It's like breath clearing. It's not like, back of the throat nose bitterness. It's mouth like pininess. Look, I'm not going to lie. Like, their beers are so drinkable, but there is a point where I kind of at over 8%, the malt, like, I know this is smooth as hell. It is very smooth. Like it's not even close to its weight. This drink's like a 6.5, 7%. Like it has that kind of thinner thing going on. That white grape acidity, though, you get it. This is definitely a wine drinker's IPA. Like I won't beat around the bush. Is it my favorite double IPA from them? No, it's not. But it's a good beer, and I'm glad I tried it. I have to say that I have become a little less like over the moon about their IPAs. Their stouts, nah, man. Their stouts are king. Trillium makes like the best stout in the game. It's hard to beat a good Trillium barrel-aged stout. When you want a pastry stout that's been thrown in a bourbon barrel, Trillium's one of your top go-to choices. Some of their sours and barrel-aged sours are fantastic for what they are. You've got their Berliner Weiss, you've got their fruity beer. They're really, really enjoyable. The IPAs, they feel like they're thinning them out. And look, no head. It's headless now. At the brewery, like that is enjoyable. That is absolutely enjoyable. I love the grapefruit Chardonnay combo, almost like champagne and grapefruit slices. Like if you took some grapefruit juice and put it into a champagne, it's almost like a knockoff. It's a variation of a mimosa where you're using grapefruit juice instead of orange juice. That's exactly how I would describe this. You took champagne and a grapefruit juice And that's the concoction you came up with. Is there a name for that? Mimosa's orange juice and champagne. What's the grapefruit juice version? Basically this. Basically, this tastes like champagne with some grapefruit juice in it. It's exactly what I'm, and then it's like kind of lingering afterward. Yes. So grapefruit to me is the predominant flavor. Which I love. I love grapefruit. It's one of my favorite fruits. So I love these grapefruit forward IPAs. I mean, in terms of a beverage, you want to put this in a wine glass, like it doesn't look like beer. Like, look again, it's one of these headless Trillium beers. I had IPA at the brewery, nice head on it, nice draft pour head. The cans do not produce a head in their IPAs. The draft IPAs, they seem to have a head. So something at Trillium, they are removing or reducing the use of carbonation for their canning process, which sucks. I mean, you want a draft pour from the can. It's like a mini keg. You want that experience, but Trillium is they're not putting either. They're trying to cut back some costs. I read up something that during the pandemic they were not able to utilize the carbonation as much for their canning process because of the vaccines. Because in the Boston area, they were putting a lot of carbonation needs towards vaccine storage, which took a lot of CO2. So in that vein, you can't blame a Boston-based company if they're following code and they can't. But are you telling me that on draft you're putting in the carbonation, but in cans you're not? I got to be honest, like that is ultra disappointing. I'm just going to say it. That's not a double IPA that I'm looking for. Like that's flat. There is carbonation in it, but it's soda-esque. It's not that frothy foamy. It's soda-y. Because again, the bubbles are the malt. To me, the malt is not holding up the profile, and the bubbles feel soda-like. I don't like soda-y beer. The bubbles have to be foamy. They have to be tight. These feel loose and soda-y, and that's my biggest issue with the beers that they make in cans now. The soda quality that comes out, it takes away from the froth, the foam that you want. Like when you get that creamy, frothy beer, it's different than these watery, soda-y bodies. The flavors are great. I will not take away. The hops are great. The grape juice is great. Again, I'm going to say that it's basically a grapefruit juice and champagne mixture is the closest analogy that I'll make to this. That's exactly what it is. But the body, I want more malt at 8.2%. Even though this is so drinkable and easygoing, I'm going to put my critical hat on. And again, that's unacceptable carbonation. I'm going to be the biggest snob. You know that I put these guys on a pedestal. I was like a huge fan of their beers. I still think they make the best coffee stout ever. You cannot touch their coffee stout. I think they make some of the best Berliner Weiss. Their daily serving is amazing. Their pale ales typically are delicious. They're great. But their double IPAs have become soda-y. They become bubbly, not frothy. There's a difference between bubbly and frothy. You want froth. You want foam. You want that malty bubble. You don't want the wet bubble. This is wet bubble, not bready bubble. If that could make a difference, right? So again, it just changes the mouthfeel. Is it an enjoyable beverage? Absolutely. It's absolutely delicious. I will not criticize the flavor. It's the malt. It's the carbonation. For the canning process, they are not properly carbonating their cans in this category because I have PM Dawn, the Supernatural PM Dawn. There's a head on that can. There's a head on that stout. So they're cutting. It's like it's an intentional decision to either there's a stylistic thing. They think that this is more appealing to more drinkers out there, maybe more casual drinkers or less inclined beer drinkers, wine drinkers, cocktail mix drinkers. Maybe this is their vision of a cocktail IPA that you put in with an umbrella on top because it looks more like a fruit punch. Maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe it's intentional. But I can't condone it. Like, this will not get a 100. I think it gets a 97 because I really like the flavor. I like the acidity. It works well. It's a Chardonnay IPA. The flavor is delicious. It's really, really good. I love the flavor. The grape juice is, you can taste the grape juice. It's palpable. White grape juice, absolutely there. Grapefruit juice, predominantly with some little bit of leek, a little bit of scallion, a little bit of that white onion thing going on. The pine, there's a little bit of pine, but there's nothing overly bitter. The balance in the flavors is excellent. It's top class, but the carbonation and that lack, just amp up the malt by like 10%, and we're talking about a huge improvement. That slight watery consistency at this ABV. I'm a beer drinker. I'm not a cocktail. So again, as a company, are they targeting non-beer because it's a business? Are they trying to? This is what they're going to use to get people more into their stuff, like because it looks really cool. The color on this is outstanding. You cannot deny it. Again, I will not knock this for anything but the carbonation. Everything else is a top mark. It's delicious. It's just that carbonation thing, man. It is delicious. Again, it's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. It actually is exactly what I wanted from this beer. Like the flavor. I'll give it a 98. It's growing on me. It's just that slight thinness, that slightly soda-y quality that I just can't get over. It prickles your mouth too much. You want that bready, malty, foamy thing, and it doesn't have it. It's thin. But the flavors are tremendous. So it's like, okay, Trillium, like you want to sacrifice that malty bready thing to save some money? Okay. Like you won't get a 100 anymore. You're gonna get a high A. Your malt, your hops and your juices are awesome. They're fantastic, but for some reason, you want to sacrifice the malt in your double IPA, the carbonation in double IPA. I don't know, man. Again, because it's a wine-based beer, maybe this is intentional. They want a thinner thing because they're targeting people who like wine. Again, like if that's the reason, I kind of get it, you know? You could see this being enjoyed by a wine drinker. Like there's a slight champagne bubbling. The carbonation reminds me of champagne more than a traditional double IPA. So I get like you want a champagne drinker to love this. Yeah, this is what you would make, and I get it. So if it's intentional, and in this can in particular, because again, the IPA had similar ABV at the brewery, had a nice carbonation to it from draft. So I don't know. Again, I think it's an A+ beer. Even with all that said, Is it worth a purchase? I think so. I think it's very tasty. I love the bright acidity. I love the crispness. It's extremely drinkable. There's not a shred of alcohol to worry about. The grapefruit, there's such a strong grapefruit juice in here. It's palpable. The white grape juice blends with it. The two are melded into this really nice concoction. There's a little bit of mango, a little bit of pineapple, but there's more acidic tropical tartness. So the grapefruit just comes right out of it. So I love grapefruit. It's like one of my favorite flavors in beer. So I love this type of thing. If you don't love grapefruit, you might not love this because the white grape is going to be the secondary flavor to the grapefruit. It's like grapefruit with white grape juice blended. I mean, it's delicious. Again, it's just that one factor. It's that like carbonation thing. It's not quite bready enough, in my opinion. So there it is. I wanted to get that on the books because I was interested to see where this would stack up. Because having gone to the brewery and seeing an IPA poured, I saw a nice head on there. It was nice and foamy. This has the flavor I'm looking for, but it doesn't have the foam I got at the brewery. So I don't know, Trillium's canning of IPA, something's messed up. The stouts are fantastic. The PM Dawn is perfect. The PM Dawn Supernatural is a 10. It's a world class. It's phenomenal. This is a 98. The carbonation, that mouthfeel took it down because the flavors are phenomenal. It's just the mouthfeel, man. I wish they'd go back to their old ways. They used to have that mouthfeel in these IPAs, and they don't anymore. It's in the cans, at least. I don't know what the hell's going on. And there we go.